Hi, boys and girls. So a lot has been happening in our waiting for the magic book. And if you guys have not gotten caught up, you can watch the videos that I've posted on our Google Classroom before this. And right now I am starting on chapter 11 and we'll be reading chapters 11 and 12. Okay, chapter 11. Every night Papa slept on the couch. He seemed to be home for good. Or not, who could tell? The dogs did not have much to say. They were watchers, listeners, spies, gathering information. Mostly they watched Papa. Neo. He's not afraid of us anymore. Biddy. He doesn't walk way around us anymore. Grace. He petted me this morning and gave me a dog biscuit. Bryn. Really? Where was I? I never had a dog, Papa told me. When I was a kid, I remember wanting a dog, but it never happened. That's too bad, I said. It is, agreed Papa. What would you have named a dog? Eleanor asked. If you had gotten one. Papa tilted his head as if remembering. Scooter, he said. I would have named a dog Scooter. He was quiet for a moment. Scooter, he repeated. Papa cooked many dinners for days and days. He was a better cook than Mama, and Mama was tired a lot of the time. He made spaghetti and hamburgers and soups and different dinners with strange things such as pineapple, raisins, and chocolate. Here's a picture of Papa cooking. Biddy. If he's a good cook, maybe he's a good writer too. Neo. I'm not sure that those two go together. Cooking and writing, I mean. Grace. We should get him writing. Bryn. How? Biddy. Quiet, please. I'm thinking. Joe, said Mama once at dinner, what is this? Chocolate chicken, said Papa. I made it up. Mama laughed, and when we heard Mama laugh, we laughed too. We loved chocolate chicken, and the dogs would have loved it too, but Papa wouldn't let them eat it. I'm studying up on dogs, he said. Chocolate is very dangerous for them. Studying up? Neo. I had a tiny taste of chocolate once. I took it off a table, and I didn't get sick. Bryn. I used to find M&Ms in the cushions of the couch when I was fast enough. Papa got Eleanor and me to clean up the kitchen after dinner. I can help too, said Mama. I'm not sick, you know. I'm just getting big. Sit down, said Papa. You can talk to us and tell us stories, or we can talk about great philosophical topics. What's that? Asked Eleanor. Important things, said Papa. Eleanor thought a moment. She stood on a chair at the counter, wiping dishes with a dish towel. I have an important question, she announced. What is it? I asked. If you kiss someone, said Eleanor, do you have to marry them? Mama looked at Papa. What? I asked. There was something about the way Papa and Mama looked at each other that left me out. Well, your Papa and I kissed each other when we were in 4th grade, said Mama. 4th grade? I said loudly. That's terrible. I think it's nice, said Eleanor. I think it's romantic, said Bryn. It's too bad dogs don't kiss. Biddy. I kiss sometimes, but humans think it's licking. Eleanor and I burst out laughing. What's so funny? Asked Papa. We shook our heads, laughing harder, knowing that not Papa, not Mama could hear Biddy's words. Papa decided that he needed exercise and thought that walking all the dogs would be good for him. We watched him through the living room window, Mama, Eleanor, and I. I'm very impressed, said Mama, for someone who never knew dogs before. I looked at Mama for a moment until she looked at me. What? She said. You're forgiving Papa, I said. She stared at me. I guess I am, she said. It's important to forgive. Not when you don't understand, I said. We could see the dogs misbehaving for Papa, so that he had a couple of bouts of tripping and getting tangled up and almost falling down. At one point, Grace changed places with Bryn to make it easier for him. They did it on purpose, those dogs. Eleanor had seen that too. They like him, she whispered. Mama heard. Yes, how about that, she said softly. They like him too. That word too doesn't mean me, I said. I know, said Mama. That's all right, William. Maybe you have to come to that in your own way. Or not, I thought. Chapter 12. Eleanor and Mavis wore Mama's dresses and heels playing school teacher. Lula was their only teacher, wearing a yellow shirt with "Love That Baby" printed on it. Excellent, Lula, said Eleanor. Stupendously excellent, echoed Mavis, making Papa smile. Stupendously excellent is pretty good, he said to me. Papa wandered around the house, followed by Neo and Bryn. What are you doing? I asked. I'm looking for a place to write. A quiet, peaceful place. Bryn. My writer wrote all day long with the television on, loud music sometimes. I smiled. What? Asked Papa. I'm smiling at Bryn, I said. I smile at Bryn too, he said, petting her. Biddy. What about the attic room? I like the attic room. The attic room, I repeated. The attic room. I haven't been up there for a long time, said Papa. He went up the stairs and we all clattered up, the sounds of dog feet on wooden stairs behind me. All except Grace, who had not yet gotten used to stairs, being a racing dog raised in the crate. Ah, said Papa at the top of the stairs, you're right, William. Biddy. I'm right. Yes, I said to Biddy and Papa. A large window, said Papa, walking into the room. I'll put my desk there. Biddy. I watched that silly Boston Terrier next door from this window. Bryn. That's Ruby. She's peppy. Neo. She barks at toads. Bryn. And cars and the mailman. Neo. And clouds and rain. This is perfect, said Papa happily. We heard the soft, uncertain sound of Grace coming up the stairs. Grace being brave. Good girl, Grace, said Papa. He looked at the dogs, who all stared back at him. You, Papa said suddenly, you are such a good family, better than I have ever been. You took care of Jamie and Eleanor and William when I was... He waved an arm as if trying to find the words. Somewhere trying to find out what was best for me. Me, when all the while it wasn't ever really about me at all. I stood very still, not daring to move. Eyes, he said suddenly, as if he were making a speech. 8 eyes turned into me when I was away. 8 eyes became one beacon that reminded me who I am. It was quiet for a moment. Papa looked a little surprised at what he had just said. Neo nosed my hand. I jumped. What? I said aloud. Neo. That's the beginning of a poem. Papa stared at Neo. Neo nosed my hand again. Tell him, said Neo. That's a poem, I said. I heard Neo say it, Papa whispered. Papa sat down on a chair and stared at the dogs. Neo. A poem. You could call it Eyes. Papa didn't say anything for a moment. Do they all talk? He asked finally, his voice cracking. Biddy. Only to some people. Does Mom know? He asked. Neo. No. Grace. Not yet. Papa was quiet for a long time, then he lifted his shoulders. Bryn? He asked finally. Yes. I've been home for more than 2 months now. Do you think I could sleep in my bed? Asked Papa. Bryn was silent for a bit. Bryn. Are you home for good? Yes, Papa said, for good. I let out a breath that I felt like I'd been holding for a long time. Bryn. It's a big bed. I'll take the middle. Papa grinned. Eleanor was right, he said. I didn't have to go away for magic. He began to laugh so hard that Mama called up the stairs. What's funny? She asked. Papa couldn't speak. He walked down the stairs, followed by the dogs. He put his arms around her until the dogs and I finally went away and left them alone. Eleanor was in the downstairs hallway. She wore a backpack and her crown. Papa heard the dogs, I whispered. Eleanor nodded. Papa's really home, isn't he? I asked. No one. Grace. Looks like it. I thought Mama would be next to hear the dogs, I said. Neo. Her mind is full. She is thinking about that baby all the time, said Eleanor. I smiled at that baby. Mama would say our baby, I said. That baby isn't my baby, said Eleanor. Biddy, that's what you think. Lula in Eleanor's backpack peeked at me over Eleanor's shoulder. Lula's my baby, said Eleanor. Soon you'll have another, I said. Twins, announced Eleanor with a bright smile. Grace, we call it a litter. And that's where we leave off, boys and girls. Okay, I will be reading chapter 13 at our Google Meet tomorrow. If you are not able to make it, I will put it on our Google Classroom so that you guys can listen to it later. And I will see you tomorrow.